a lot of the activities we're having kids do, it could be challenging. They may have difficulties with some fine motor skills. They may be emerging in some of these other areas. We know that attention is sometimes challenging at home, and the environment's not always conducive to supporting kids in the way that it might be more so in a classroom or other structured settings. So some things to attend to is posture, first and foremost. So you can see the couple pictures of some kiddos here sitting in some chairs. We've got this kiddo sitting with a really wide base. His legs are out the side and he's leaned really far forward in his chair. This is a very common posture for kids that may have challenges with posture and position. So what we find in OT is they're going to tolerate this for about 5 minutes and then they're up and away. It's very fatiguing for kids to sit and attend, let alone from a cognitive perspective, mentally attending. But now we're also asking them to sit in these positions for long periods. So a lot of the schools and the schools that maybe your children have attended have lower tables with, a lower kind of footprint in the classroom, lower chairs, because what we're working on is promoting good posture and position at the table. If their feet and lower body are supported, as this really wonderful picture demonstrates, the likelihood of your child being more successful is that much greater. At home, that's not always possible. So some things to consider: if we've got a tall chair where your child's feet are dangling, like you see here, this little kiddo right here, he's got one foot up, he's got his other foot down here, he's sitting on this really great booster chair, but his feet are dangling. One strategy and suggestion could be bring something that helps support his feet underneath the table that he's sitting at. We know that, like we said, space at home could be very limited. I know it is at my house. And recognizing ways to adapt what's already there instead of changing things, going to get stuff, is going to really be your best bet, and certainly the most cost-effective strategy. So here, what we have is a kiddo that's using a chair, or you could use a box. On this next page, you'll see. We've got some other strategies. You can see here, in this kid in the top right corner is using a plastic bin to bring the floor up to him. These are really important considerations because we know that posture and position is important for attention and certainly for success with fine motor and handwriting skills. You can see how some parents are getting really creative and using side tables. They're lower, and guess what? If we've got a poof or a pillow, kids can sit on that. And then that way that brings them lower to the ground and provides more support for them on their feet and certainly in their back. So you can see here, that's what's going on at this table. They're all sitting at the coffee table. Each kid has their own designated workspace, and they're all sitting lower to the ground. One option. Another option is if your child is getting fatigued, as we mentioned, sitting at the table can be really challenging. So sitting on the floor and working may be an option. A lot of kiddos that have challenges with their core, their postural stability, may choose maybe some ineffective and not really wonderful supportive positions like this W sitting or some other ways to sit on the floor. Consider maybe using a desk or a lap desk. Have your child sit on the floor and bring the desk up to them. So that way they're in a much more supported position, they're upright and much more conducive for learning and attending. A couple other strategies and things to consider. You can see here that this kiddo's in this really beautiful table that's down low, but also is their computer. So just using something as simple as some paper to rest the laptop, all of a sudden now they're sitting much more upright because their visual surface is now in line with their head and neck. And we know if any of us are working at desks for a long period of times, it does weigh on you and it does create an uncomfortable sitting position for a very long period of time. So we want to see if we can support our kids as best as possible. The chairs we're sitting in are kind of squishy, and squishy chairs can be uncomfortable because maybe the feeling of the chair on our body is uncomfortable. But more so, what can also happen is these squishy kind of office chairs don't create the best posture and position for these little bodies. So one strategy could be is, in addition to using this really great plastic bin to bring the floor up to his feet, you can see also there's a more firm pillow that's sitting behind that's promoting a more upright posture and position. Because sitting back like this isn't necessarily conducive to attention and certainly putting them in a really great position to use their hands for writing, typing, coloring, scissors, any other kind of academic tasks that are being asked at the time.